What is hate?
You know, boy, that's a multi level question. What Spirit has told me about that lately kind of reverses it. Don't we as humans, and being human, I'm right in there, feel that if somebody has done something to hurt us, that is hateful? So, why Christ says, forgive your enemy immediately, is because of that. What hate is, what we feel, is what we want to do back to them. That kind of puts it in a new perspective for me. So if somebody does something hateful, and we've all had that happen, hopefully we haven't done too much to others, but we're just people. We do dumb shit all the time. Also good stuff. But if somebody does something really just nasty to me and I can't understand why, I usually say they're hurting. But what always comes up, at least for a period of time, from the little satanic thing sitting on my shoulder, the angel on the other, says, well, I should this or this or this. What can I say clever? Or what should I do to defend or protect? Really? Most of the times I just let it go and walk away. But it comes up. And that's how you cycle the continuation of negative energy, satanic energy, and hate. When somebody does something to me, it's what I want to do back. And then they will want to do back at me. You see how that works? And we discussed last time how it's difficult to stop doing something, to get on a different path, because neurologically, that takes energy. It takes different transmitters, maybe different hormones. It's a neurological thing, and bodies in motion stay in motion. We discussed a little bit of Wheeler's superspace theory. And I think that when it takes more energy to stop being a little shit than it does to act that out and get that momentary, oh, that feels good, I got him. I mean, most of us aren't in wars with other people. God bless you if you are. But that's the pattern, is the continuation. And when Jesus said, just stop. It's hard. You have to grieve that. You have to grieve that. And certainly, if you could get away from that person or situation, good on you. Please do. But I've spoken of this before. A past communicator called me the other day, a colleague, that I had just deleted her number out of my contacts last year because she was very aggressive with her politics, knowing how I felt. And we agreed on really nothing. So I didn't block her. I just quit talking. And she called me, and I had to realize how uncomfortable I was with that person. Now, was she right or wrong? I don't know. But there are things I could have said that would have been cute, defensive, whatever. And I didn't. I just listened, and my gut was rumbling. Now, am I a bigger person for saying that? Not really. I just know the consequences. If I had said something to so called get back at the bait she was throwing at me, and she's not a bad person. She doesn't listen to these shows. So there's no point in saying anything else. In other words, she wouldn't recognize that I'm speaking of this conversation. If I had taken the bait and become as aggressive as this person, then I'm also at fault. So I had to do what I have learned is a process, and that is just sit there and let the person talk and see how I feel. See why I chose to cease communication, and wonder why someone would call and once again be aggressive after over a year. It had nothing to do with me. And many times when people are hateful towards you, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It really doesn't, because we project so much out there. We imagine somebody is a certain way and then treat them like that. It's part of human nature. So we have to stop that process, but stopping us takes effort. It's that trying piece again. And it's part of emotional maturity to say, I am just going to suck it up and I'm going to be, you can say, well, I'm going to be the big one. My mom used to say something brilliant. She said a lot of brilliant things. She says, don't lower yourself to that level just to communicate. She said, raise them up just by your behavior. And I think that's a beautiful thing to say, but that's PhD level communication. It's hard. Now, I could have said to this person, what? If you think, well, what could you have said? I could have said, I'm going to stop you there because I'm uncomfortable with this and I wish you well. But this person's communication was not worth me engaging. So I just continued to kind of let the blows go past me and go, wow, I feel bad. So it reaffirmed to me that this is not a bad person, but this person was hurting and wanted a little fight. So that's something that you can consider if someone's attacking you and why you should not really attack back verbally. You can, sometimes you should, I guess. I try not to talk in absolutes, and I can be wrong. What do you think about that, Linda?
Well, it shows how it's easier to stay in that energy of hate and to reflect back the negativity that's being pushed towards you. But when you realize that just makes more of it, you can try to be aware and change your behavior like you did. You used the example of your friend or your acquaintance who was always aggressive. You didn't have to reflect that aggression back, and it made you feel more peaceful because of it.
Yes, and once again, that is a colleague, that's somebody that's not in my life and has never been consistently in my life. Now, if it's a family member or if it's somebody that you're with at work or all the time, you need to find a way to exit those conversations. And you may have to find a way to say, I'm going to stop you there. This conversation's just not appropriate for me. You owe no explanation when you are attacked. Find a tactful way to let it zip by you. And they have to re-own that. And maybe that person really is hurting and they're looking for your perspective. And the only way they know how to do it is to get your goat, so to speak.
That's right. That way, it's like the old saying, you can catch more flies with honey than vinegar. When you fight back with that same type of negativity, you're not going to get anywhere.
Correct. Now, it depends on what kind of person you are. My husband, my big alpha male husband, the other day, we were discussing this phenomena of which I don't agree with. Certain women say, well, I only want to be around safe men, which means men they can control. My husband says, I'm not a safe man. I said, no, you're not. Who wants a safe man? You have to be able to defend and protect. So if somebody does or says something to him, game on. This is a warrior. This is a veteran of battles, a JSOC operator, a SWAT guy. Very different from me. So what I'm suggesting is that if you are female, let's just do that. Find a way to do something that is very divine feminine, and that is reaching and teaching by being kind. But you have to be kind to yourself first. There's a fashion now where some kids are saying, well, they disrespected me. Who cares? Who cares? Do you have no self respect? Are you a schoolyard bully waiting for that to be knocked off your shoulder? I don't know. We're all insane as we're growing up. I mean, we're just kids in that way. But I find it unfortunate. And we, the adults, have got to find a way to mirror kinder, more consistent, controlled behavior.
Yeah, it seems like if we're kinder to ourselves, then we're not going to make the choice to choose hate. And I think from what we're talking about, hate's a choice to amplify the negative.
Yes, and it can be shocking. It can be like getting hit in the gut or cognitive dissonance. You're going around controlling your life, pretty much having a good time. All of a sudden, bam, you get hit with a piece of gossip or something just evil. And you have to take a minute and be quiet. Be quiet for about 5 seconds. You don't have to react. They'll probably just get nervous because it's quiet and keep talking. Well, keep talking. You don't have to say anything. You can go, and excuse me, and you can walk off. Or if it's a gossip thing, you can say, I just don't do that kind of talk. All you do is you statements. And that's very, very important. You don't have to, if you don't want, I'm different than my husband. I'm not going to read you the riot act. And there are different times for different things. I'm going to deflect and choose the divine feminine. He chooses the divine masculine, which is he's not a safe man, but he doesn't go around attacking people. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's not, it's more of a personality or a person thing.
Yeah, and I think you have to find your own comfort level with this. And sometimes it hits me it takes me a minute to go, did I hear that person trying to engage me? Because that's now not how I think. And I'm taken off guard with it. And I'll sit there and I'll do that INFJ stare, which means, are you safe? Probably not. But I just prefer usually, I don't do cocktail parties. I don't drink. I don't go to concerts. I don't do anything big groups of people. Occasionally, when I have to, it's usually a very unpleasant situation for me, and I'm always looking for the door. But that's just the person I am.
Is that because of the people's energy?
That is, I'll give you an example. There is an event we went to this summer for a group that we are financially involved with. And it was just a nice, lovely afternoon gathering. Well, there's always alcohol. And to me, once that's there, you don't know who you're talking to. You may be talking to John, but John is now under the influence of a drug. You don't know who you're talking to. So that's always there. And when I walk into a room, I'm a research analyst. I read everybody. I just do it. I don't do it out of hate. I do it out of interest and intrigue and also safety for myself. But the main thing is, who here can I offer anything to and can offer anything to me? And I don't mean materially. I mean by just sharing and camaraderie. And I had some good chats with people, but I was ready to get out of there after about 20 minutes. That's just the kind of person that I am. I'm an introvert. I'm an INFJ. I want to be polite, but I've pretty much sized up the situation and I'm done. It's just how I am. A lot of that is related to post traumatic stress. That is also a pattern that I've learned for my safety. But I love people. I genuinely love people. And it hurts for me personally to see people putting drugs in their body and they cannot talk to you without having a drug in their glass. That just bothers me. And I'm fanatical about it. You don't want to talk to me about drugs or alcohol. You just don't. That's the kind of person I am. I never bring it up. I don't bring it up. I don't make people uncomfortable. Usually I'll have a cup of coffee or I'll just stand there. It's just a different kind of people, and it takes all kind of people to make the world. So I think that's why I do that. There's multiple reasons.